We do have a special guest that would like to say some words, not to silence any student voices. But she was a former dean and is now dean emeritus and is a loving, caring member of the, I'm tippy-toeing for this, a loving, caring member of the BSU family and like the Black community here. So at this time, I would like to ask Dee Moss to come and say a few
words. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until we make it come. We who believe in freedom cannot rest, no, no. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until we make it come. This book is by Bernice Johnson Reagan. It is entitled, We Who Believe in Freedom. Bernice Johnson Reagan, many of you know, founded Sweet Honey in the Rock and was here at the university last March and was absolutely riveting along with Toni Morrison and Sonia Sanchez. She wrote We Who Believe in Freedom in response to a request from a friend of hers who was writing making a film to honor Ella Baker. Ella Baker was a top advisee of Dr. Martin Luther King and the first executive director of the SNCC organization, the Student Nonviolent Organization. When James Chaney, Michael Goodwin, and Andrew Schwerner were killed on a lonely road in Mississippi in 1964, they went looking for them. Madam President, we are Southerners. We know this history. They went looking for them. They drug the Mississippi River looking for them. And in dragging the Mississippi River looking for them, they found the bones of black men that had been gone a long time and nobody knew where. So Ella Baker went to address SNCC, and she said, among other things, these words: until the killing of black men, black mothers' sons are as important as the killing of white men, white mothers' sons. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Madam President, I don't remember now what year it was when we gathered in Johnson Chapel. The chapel was overflowing, and it was just at the time that the Rodney King verdict came in. And everybody went crazy at that verdict. It took me back, and I told this story at that time, to the time my uncle Allie B was beaten in Jackson, Tennessee, where I was born and raised, beaten, hung by his wrists in the police station, and they just took their batons and he became a battering point for them as they tried to get him to confess to stealing some car tires. They came and got him early in the morning. And by the time his ribs were broken, his teeth were knocked out, and he didn't know who he was, they called my mother, his sister, and told her to come get him. I was a sophomore in high school when his wife heard what had happened to him. She had a stroke. And my mother had them moved next door to us in the projects in Jackson, Tennessee, Mary Lane Court. Now, he was Uncle Allie B, And she was cousin Georgia. Please do not ask me what that genetic is all about. I have no idea. But in the South, we just name you stuff. But you are always going to be kin to us. You know, you're going to be family. So, cousin Georgia, and they used to call her Doll. You talk about a pretty woman. She was about your height and about your size. Just pretty as she could be. Wore fine clothes, and he was tall and handsome like Collie. About Collie's height, about Collie's weight, and dressed to the nines. We didn't have a car in the family, but Uncle Allie B had a rumble seat car. That's a car where the seat, you can open it up. It's not the what do you call it, the trunk. You open it up and it's a seat and you can sit outside, you know, and oh boy, when he would let us in the car, you had to get real cleaned up. We would love to drive with Uncle Allie B. He was carefree and he was gorgeous. Until they beat him. And he no longer really knew who he was. Until he had what was known as an acute case, what is known now as an acute case of post-traumatic stress. So here I'm back again telling the story. And the young folk have spoken eloquently. Every last one of you have spoken eloquently about this situation. Yes, it does matter. Now, there are children on this campus who have been raised in conservative communities and never listened to anything but conservative narrations, who have never listened to our history except in the revisionistic part of it. There are children on this campus who don't realize that there is truth to our existence and what it is we go through, what it is you go through. They don't know. It is my prayer that on this campus, some faculty will stop trying to have minions and get together and say, we are going to teach our students how to agree to disagree in open discourse. So there would be no pranks of putting posters on top of posters.
Yes, right.
No pranks on that. I pray for that. The leadership has to come from the top. You are the grassroots, but you have to reach the top. I believe we have a president that knows how to do it. I believe that. I believe in you. I believe in you. And I believe that there are faculty here who know how to teach you how to have controversial discourse without having to defame one another, without having to be evil and enemies toward one another. I believe that. And I believe that it has to come from the faculty to do it. I believe that. No, it's no time for minions. It is time to create equals on both sides of the aisle or in the middle, wherever it is. But it is time to create equals and to learn how to respect people who have differing points of view from you and to stop being undercover like cowards. It's time to stop. It is time to stop. It is past time to stop. This business of having police forces in communities being given military equipment by the Pentagon. It is time to stop. It is time your voices would raise in the form of, you've got the internet, use it and say stop it. Stop it now. We will not support it. We will challenge you on everything, as our brother Dean has said. We will challenge you on every ounce of it. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until we make it come. There is no magical thing that's going to happen unless it is your magic, and that magic is your passion and your authenticity and your will to use your energy to go after this thing. If you're not willing to do that, we will meet here another time. And while we are talking about brutality. Let's talk about brutality. Let's talk about it across the spectrum. Let's talk about the brutality that doesn't take the form of a bullet, but takes the form of denigration. So if you're same sex, you can't do nothing without somebody coming at you. If you're a woman who is in need of an abortion, you can't come from. I'm not diffusing it. I'm telling you, talk about it as family. Amen. As family. As a world family. Because every time you isolate one thing out, but at the same time, if you put too many things in, then it can get diffused because we start competing. We are, after all, very disgruntled children. And we can misbehave. But it is worth a try. And again, and again, and again. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until we make it count. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Everybody who has spoken, come up here with me right now. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until we make it come. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until we make it come. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until we make it come. Will you make it come, baby? Amen. No, I don't believe you. Will you make it come? Yes. Let me hear you. I'm an old woman. Help me to hear you. Will you make it come, baby? Yes. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And this leadership, we're good to go. Madam President, anything you need me to do, you let me know. Let's one more time in a prayerful way. In a prayerful way. That baby that spoke from Mount Holyoke, where is she? Oh, yeah. We are our brother's keepers and our sister's keepers. And we don't say that you have to be a particular orientation. You just my sister. You just my brother. Where's that brother that read and said, if it's criminal, I'm part of that? Who said that? Yes, thank you. And thank all of you. Thank all of you. In a prayerful way, grab hands or do. We have the old style, but this is commitment, babies. I don't just get up and talk about performance.
Everyone cross. Cross your arms, right over left, left over right.
This is the way, to the God that we love and call by different names. In thanksgiving to Buddha, in thanksgiving to Allah, in thanksgiving for all of the deities that we may call. In thanksgiving for those who call themselves atheists but want freedom anyhow. Yes, to all, we are now singing in unison as family. We believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until we make it come. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until we make it come. Until the killing of black men, black mothers' sons, is as important as the killing of white men, white mothers' sons. We can believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until we make it come. Now sing it to the heavens. We who believe in freedom cannot